So far we have been able to create login and we have been able to create this register, right? So what are we doing in register? Please fill all the fields. We're only checking for blank spaces. That means अगर आपने कुछ लिखा, doesn't matter अगर आप ये भी लिखते हैं as first name dot. So it is still going to be taken as a username. So proper validation and verification is very essential for database redundancy. Database redundancy के लिए एक validation बहुत important है. आपने enterprise java में regular expressions देखे होंगे. You might have used regex in enterprise java or maybe in core java. So we'll see that today, right? How do you validate, right? So first of all, what you can do is you can turn on all those fields which are required. I repeat, all the fields which are actually required can have, right? So I'll do this here. Okay, input type text. So we have this input text value is here, and what we can do right here, let me expand it. So let me expand it here. So we can say required true. So required true से क्या होता है आप देखेंगे अभी. So this is required true, and also जितने भी नहीं, last name is not required true, sorry, my mistake. First name is required true, so I'll just take required true to the first name. Right, I'll expand it like this. And email का भी हमारा required true जाएगा, इसे भी हम expand करते हैं, ठीक है. And हमारा username का भी required true जाएगा. जितने भी start field है उसमें आप ये property required true लगाएंगे. And this is not the HTML property here, right? It is basically handled by the JSF framework, right? It is never ever going to be handled by the, I'll say submit. So now you can see that you are getting all the messages here. Now you can see that this is handled by the JSF framework. Now when I say value is required, value is required, value is required, value is required, and value is required. Now what is the message that you want to give? For example, if I require true, right, and what is the required message? आप message क्या देना चाहते हैं? अगर आपने required true यहाँ पर किया है तो आप उसे मैसेज क्या देना चाहते हैं. So I'll say required message is equivalent to, now I'll give the required message also, and all inside the, you can see here. Now यहाँ से हमारा text box यानी कि input text start होता है, यहाँ पर हमारा input text बंद होता है, ठीक है. required मैंने true रखा और message I will say email is required. So I'll say email is required, right? And if I go to the first name, I can say required message is first name is required. And these things that you can do to handle it, right? One is the required message, another is required true. And I'll go to the username right here. So I'll say required message is equivalent to username is required, right? So this is the validation that you're handling, right, at the front at UI. So I can again say required message. So I'll say password is required. Okay. And the third thing that I can do, I can give a required message and I can say confirm password is required, right? So you are doing one by one validation and you will see that the message will be changed. So I have some kind of error. Required was already specific for input secret. Okay, required true, input secret. Okay, just a moment. Okay, we cannot do it like this. So required true because दोनों जगह पर required लगा, यहाँ पर भी और यहाँ पर भी required message यहाँ पर हमें लगाना है. So I will say required message Alright, so I'll say required message and now you can hit enter. First name is required, email is required, username is required, password is required, and confirm password is required. Now how do you display it somewhere else? Right, तो आप ये मैसेज कहाँ पर डिस्प्ले कराना चाहते हैं? अगर आप वहीं पर कराना चाहते हैं, फॉर एग्जाम्पल if I want to display this message inside the same TD right here, right? So you can see that I can still display the message in the same TD, right? And how do you display this message in the same TD is by doing following things. So you'll call the facet. So F is basically the call to the JSF core library. If I show you, right? So we have only JSF HTML. The moment I go with F, I can see F dot message. So I'll use this F dash. I'll say not F. No. Sorry, it's H. It's again the main HTML library. So I'll say H dot message. Kiski message. I'll say message for. Let me go ahead and do it right from the beginning. Okay, your first name is required, and I will go and expand it here, and I will display the message right here. Message for. राइट आप मुझे बताइए आप किसके लिए मैसेज देना चाहते हैं, उसके लिए आपको यहाँ आईडी देना पड़ेगा. राइट, सो आई विल से txtf name. So I have given my text box an ID, and I'll say message for txtf name. Right, so I can say style, right, color red. All right, so this is what you can do. There's no problem. Okay, now let us see. Okay, now you can see first name is required message बिल्कुल यहाँ पर आ गई. ठीक है बेटा, और तो अब हम यही करेंगे, मैसेज फॉर हर जगह लगा देंगे ताकि आपकी वैलिडेशन मैसेज बहुत अच्छे से डिस्प्ले हो जाए. राइट, एंड देयर इज वन मोर सीक्रेट इन डूइंग दिस हियर. व्हाई आर वी डूइंग दिस हियर? बिकॉज द लास्ट नेम इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड. I'll just expand the TD and say h dash message for. We have to give it an ID. ID is equal to txt email. So I'll say message for txt email. Whatever message is, it is going to be displayed right here. Okay. So I'll just copy this again. I'll go to the username and I'll say txt email. So I'll give it an ID. ID is equal to txt username. Right. Okay, so this is an ID given, txt username, and I'll say message for txt user name. I'll copy this again, go in the same TD. I'll say message for ID txt password. So message is for txt password. All right. Okay, now what we can do again, message for ID. इसको भी एक ID दे देते हैं कंफर्म पासवर्ड को, और ID रहेगा txtc password. What is C password? It is the confirm password. Now you can see the message will be displayed up front. Alright, so we still have an error right here. I'll say register. Okay, first name is required, email is required, username is required, password is required, and confirm password is required. Or what you can do, इतनी बड़ी मैसेज नहीं दिखाइए आप, ये जो स्टार्ड आइटम्स है वहां पर आप खाली स्टार दिखाइए. ठीक है, तो ये स्टार मैं हटा देता हूं. ठीक है, दिस मैसेज जो रिक्वायर्ड मैसेज है, यू कैन शो स्टार सो दैट the user comes to know that I have to fill this field. I'll just show star here and I'll get rid of the basic star that I went earlier on. Okay, email is required, we'll take a star and the basic star goes away. A username is required, we'll take a star and the basic star goes away. Right, so now if I'm trying to sign up, right, and I click on register, now you can clearly see that star, right? Okay. U is there. Okay, now enter your first name. You can there you are getting a star here. When you load, there is no star, but once you click, you're getting a star here. You're getting a star here, star here, star here. So for example, if I write down my first name and now I click enter, you can see the star goes away. right email address. So I can say now the star goes away. Username FAHIMKHAN. Now you can see the star goes away. Password, I'll say password and password. Now you can say duplicate entry Fahim Khan for key username, that you are trying to register a user which is already registered, right? And now if I click on register again, now still password is required and confirm password is required. But it doesn't serve the purpose. It doesn't serve to the purpose that we need the regular expressions to work with whatever input we want to take. For example, कोई देता है कॉमा कॉमा कॉमा, तो यहाँ पर तो स्टार आएगा ही नहीं अब, क्योंकि कॉमा is not accepted as a username. So now I'll say fahim.khn. Is this email? No. So it is not correct validation. What we have been able to do so far, we have been only able to do the required validation, not the regular expressions. So in regular expressions, what we got to okay, so now what we are going to do is follow the regular expressions, because this is only the required validators that we have used. Now, how do you use regular expressions, right? If that is the question, so I'll tell you how to use this regular expressions with this, right? So what we do in order to use regular expressions, right? What we got to do is the following, right? Number one thing that we have to do, we have to make sure कि username से हमें क्या input लेना है, क्या हमें integers लेने हैं, क्या हमें digits लेने हैं, and vice versa, right? And क्या हमें what do you call that as I just forgot, क्या हमें spaces लेनी है, right? क्या हमें spaces नहीं लेनी है. For example, if I give you an idea, I tell you, for example, if I write down here Fahim space Khan, so it's going to invalidate the database because I'm taking first name separately, I'm then taking last name. So there should not be any space between the first name and last name. So this can be validated in a regular expression. So I don't want to take 1 2 3 4 as username, क्योंकि username 1 2 3 4 नहीं हो सकता है. तो इस चीज को भी हमें कहाँ पर वैलिडेट करना है? इसे हमें वैलिडेट करना है in a regular expression. So that is where regular expressions, they come into the picture. And how do you do that? I'll just show you. Okay, we will go ahead. This is the first name and this is the last name. All right, let's apply regular expressions, right? Okay, for that, what you got to do is you have to open up the input. Sorry, you have to open up the input type, right? That means input type has to be opened up. How do you open up? Self closing tag को बंद कर दे और input type text का एक separate closing tag लगा दे. Now input type text has a separate closing tag, not a self closing tag. We have opened this up, right? And these are the properties for required. Now because I want to use regular expressions, how do you use regular expressions? Right here, so I have to go to the JSF core library and I'll apply f-regex. Now you can clearly see f is there and we have validate regex, that is regular expressions, right? Now regular expressions have two types, so I'll just show you the types of regular expressions. We have two different things. We have number one, boundary. This is IEEE software engineering topic, boundary value analysis, right? That is the point number one. What is boundary value analysis? So I'll just tell you. And second is equivalence, EQU IVALENC, equivalence, boundary value analysis and equivalence partition. And we have equivalence partitioning. Now what does the boundary value analysis says? That the value should be right less than the max value right? Our value should be the less than the max allowed, right? And value should be right greater than the minimum allowed. वैल्यू जो आप एंटर कर रहे हैं एज यूजर नेम वो मैक्सिमम से कम होना चाहिए और मिनिमम से ज्यादा होना चाहिए. इक्विवेलेंस पार्टीशनिंग मींस आप क्या एक्सेप्ट करवाते हैं. ए टू जेड एक्सेप्ट करवाएंगे, दैट इज स्मॉल ए टू जेड, capital A to Z or small a to Z, 0 to 9, whatever you want to expose. So we are going to go with equivalence partitioning. For example, a database is something like that: A, B, C, D, E, F. This is capital, and then we have A, B, C, D, E, F to Z. We have small and we have capital. If I say I only want to accept capital A to Z, small is taken away from the dictionary. Alright, so this is how equivalence partitioning is going to work. So let's apply equivalence partitioning, and there is a pattern that you have to apply, right? And pattern has a start and pattern has a end. Now how do you follow the start and the end of the pattern is by writing the pattern. So equivalence class partition को नजर में रखते हुए आप क्या काम करेंगे, ठीक है बेटा? You will apply the pattern, and the pattern is always going to start, always remember this, the pattern will start with the not, that is the 6. shift दबा के 6 जब आप दबाते हैं तो यहाँ पर not sign आ जाता है. So pattern is going to start with this not sign, right? And this basically we can say pattern is going to end with plus dollar. Now this is the starting of the expression not, and this is the end of the expressions plus dollar. तो इन दोनों के बीच में क्या आएगा वो भी मैं आपको दिखाता हूँ. इन दोनों के बीच में क्या आएगा. So now in the username I am going to accept capital A to Z, right? And I am going to accept small a to Z. That is it. I am not going to accept anything else. Capital A to Z. And I am going to accept a small a to Z. So now I'll close down this regular expression and let's see क्या होता है इसका. Right, so now you can see this is required. Now if I write down 9999, now you can see regex pattern of the is not matched. You're getting this message, right? That we have defined a regular expressions pattern wherein I'm not going to accept 999. Yes, small a to Z, if I write capital Fahim, absolutely accepted. Even if I write small Fahim, absolutely accepted. But if I write space Fahim Khan, it is not accepted because we're not allowing spaces in regular expressions. In order to allow spaces in regular expressions, what can we do is just give a space here. I repeat, just give a space here and the spaces are accepted in regular expression. Now, you can say you have allowed spaces just by giving it a space. That means, अगर आपके पैटर्न में स्पेस है तो स्पेस अलाउड है, अगर पैटर्न में स्पेस नहीं है तो स्पेस अलाउड नहीं है. अब देखिए, स्पेस अलाउड है तो मैं स्पेस को खत्म कर देता हूं. अब तो स्पेस अलाउड नहीं है, मैं कंटिन्यू करता हूं और मैं रजिस्टर पे क्लिक करता हूं. राइट, नाउ यू कैन सी राइट हियर दैट वी आर नॉट. Okay, if I write Fahim, it's accepted. If I write Fahim space Khan, it is still accepted. I don't know why, something is wrong. Okay, deployed. Right then, so I'll say this. We have an error. I'll refresh the page. Alright, so this is required. Fahim, accepted. Fahim space not accepted. Space is not allowed. Now, if you want to give your own message for regular expressions, right? अगर आप कोई अपनी मैसेज रेगुलर एक्सप्रेशंस के लिए देना चाहते हैं तो आप क्या काम करेंगे, right? So you will say, I don't know, parent transient. So I will say, just a moment. We have this as RE. Now we have a pattern. Okay. I have to say message, so we don't have message here. Let me see to it. So message को छोड़ देते हैं, message बाद में चेक करते हैं कुछ है. पहले हम सब पे रेगुलर एक्सप्रेशंस अप्लाई करते हैं. ठीक है, लास्ट नेम पे हमें रेगुलर एक्सप्रेशन चाहिए ही चाहिए, ठीक है बेटा, राइट. सो आई टेक एक्सप्रेशंस ऑफ रेगुलर एंड आई विल अप्लाई इट टू लास्ट नेम एज वेल. नाउ यू मे से सर लास्ट नेम इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड, राइट. लास्ट नेम जो है वो रिक्वायर्ड है ही नहीं, तो हम मैसेज क्यों देंगे लास्ट नेम पे? हाँ, तो उसका जवाब मैं आपको दे देता हूं, जस्ट अ मोमेंट. राइट, सो वील गिव दिस मैसेज only because of the fact that if someone is not typing it, right. So let me have this message here. Okay, I'll just make you understand क्यों हम लगा रहे हैं, ठीक है. फिलहाल के लिए मैं input type text को एक ID दे देता हूँ. We'll say txtl name. So this is txtl name and this is applied to txtl name. Since txtf name is not required, now you can say l name. आप अगर देखेंगे यहां पर फर्स्ट नेम, एंटर योर फर्स्ट नेम में हमने रिक्वायर्ड मैसेज डाल दी स्टार और इसे रिक्वायर्ड ट्रू किया, जो कि लास्ट नेम जो है इट इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड ट्रू, राइट. लास्ट नेम इज नॉट रिक्वायर्ड ट्रू. कैन सी ओनली अ पैटर्न विच इज अ रेगुलर एक्सप्रेशन पैटर्न इज अप्लाइड हियर. सो नाउ लेट्स सी. सो आई विल से फहीम स्पेस, सो इट्स नॉट एक्सेप्टेड. सो आई विल से फहीम. Okay, so we have an id txtl name here and I'll go with message for txtl name. Okay, let's see. All right, so I'll say regex pattern not matched to this Fahim. Okay, now you can see regex pattern is matched even if I don't give anything. Right. That means we should not accept it. राइट. प्रॉब्लम ये है कि ठीक है चलो कोई देता नहीं है, फर्स्ट नेम किसी ने दिया, लेकिन हमें गलत लास्ट नेम तो नहीं लेना. या तो हम काम करेंगे इवन इफ यू डोंट वांट टू एंटर एनी लास्ट नेम, ओके, डोंट एंटर एनी लास्ट नेम, वी विल टेक इट. बट इफ यू एंटर लास्ट नेम यू हैव टू वैलिडेट इट. अगर कोई नहीं देता ठीक है, लेकिन अगर कोई गलत चीज देता, लास्ट नेम @@@, सो इट्स नॉट एक्सेप्टेड, राइट. तो यहाँ पर हमें regex पैटर्न को मैच कराना ही पड़ेगा. And I have to take it outside the input text. So sorry, I have kept it inside the input text. So I'll take it outside the input text. Now we have regular expressions right here. So let me refresh. Now you can see regex pattern does not match. Now even if I don't want to give, so for that what I do right here is validate the length. आप समझ रहे? What you can do is you can validate email on the basis of length, or you can validate this last name on the basis of length as well, right. Pattern is there, so there's no problem in pattern, right. So I can say boundary value analysis, I can say f dash validate length, right. आप validate length कीजिए. minimum क्या है भाई, मैं मिनिमम तो 0 एक्सेप्ट कर ही रहा हूं और मैक्सिमम कितना एक्सेप्ट कर रहा हूं, मैक्सिमम में 20 कैरेक्टर्स एक्सेप्ट कर रहा हूं. अब ये किस लिए चाहिए आपको? फॉर एग्जांपल अगर आपकी डेटाबेस है, राइट, इट्स वेरी वेब डेवलपमेंट इज वेरी वेरी डिफिकल्ट व्हेन इट कम्स टू सिक्योरिटी, राइट. You have to take care of a lot many things. For example, if you are developing a database, right, and the last name takes the characters as varchar 20, आपने क्या रखा है डेटाबेस की लेंथ varchar 20. So what if user gives 21? That means the data is truncated. Now the value is basically going to cross the boundary there. So in order to validate, you have to make sure कि database में 25 से ज़्यादा का value गया तो database error generate हो जाएगा. तो आपको पहले ही validate करना है कि मैं 25 से ज़्यादा ना लूँ. अगर मैंने database में varchar 15 रखा है या varchar 20 रखा है किसी particular attribute का value, तो इसीलिए मैं यहाँ पर बोलता हूँ कि भाई minimum तो मुझे 0 ही चाहिए, लेकिन मैक्सिमम 20 से ज्यादा ये ना दे, ठीक है. तो यहां पर बाउंड्री वैल्यू एनालिसिस और इक्वल क्लास पार्टीशन दोनों आ गए, राइट. सो नाउ आई क्लिक हियर, सो लेट मी डू दिस, ओके, एंड वी विल सी दिस. All right, so we have this, that this is not being matched. Just a moment. So validate, just I'll take this away and see the validation of the length first, okay. So I click on register, last name पे अभी भी regex pattern आ रहा है, whereas we do not have regex pattern for the last name. Enter your last name, I'll refresh it first. Right, regex pattern A to Z is not matched. Why? Because Fahim, it's matched. If I say Fahim, comma, it's not matched. If I don't give anything, it's not matched. If I say Khan, regex pattern is not matched. Why? कोई ना कोई गलती L name पे हमारी हो रही है. txt L name. Okay, we have an error right here. Just a moment. Let's take this validate like that. Let me take this as away. Alright, so regex pattern is already defined. Input type text is closed. Message for txt L name and message for txt L name is right here. I don't know, it should not show any error. It's still showing regex pattern और A to Z is not matched. देखो फहीम तो ठीक चल रहा है, ठीक है, एंड लास्ट नेम पे आ रहा है मैसेज क्योंकि मुझे स्टार आना चाहिए. हाँ, इसलिए आ रहा है क्योंकि ये रिक्वायर्ड नहीं है, ठीक है. सो बिकॉज this field is not required. True, that's why you're getting regex pattern does not match. So if I say this space regex pattern does not match, if I give a bit of space right here and give space, let me give space here and let's see whether it accepts. No. So I'll say Khan, yeah, it's matched, ठीक है. तो उसके लिए हम क्या काम करेंगे? Let me go ahead and type only the validate minimum 0 maximum 20 length ले रहा हूँ मैं. Right, so 0 length is also accepted, right, but still we are getting regex pattern of A to Z and small a to Z is not matched. I don't know why. Cached maybe. I'll just restart the browser क्योंकि यहाँ पर हमने हटा दिया है इसको. Maybe caching, database caching, who knows. Alright, so we restarted it and we'll check it out again. I'll go and say register here and I'll click on register. Now you can see it's not coming, right? Because you're accepting minimum 0 and maximum you're accepting 20. Now let's say about if I'm going to give more than 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Right, so this is more than 20, it should show me an error. Validation error, length is greater than allowable maximum of 20, right? That means your length is more greater or much greater than the allowable length of 20. So you go and make it less than 20. Now it's allowed, all right? Even if you don't give anything, still because the required is not true there, all right? And now what you can do right here, you can do the both, all right? So you can have the both. Okay, now no problem. If I write Fahim Khan, no problem. If I write Fahim dash comma, we get regex pattern does not match. Okay, if I write Khan 0, you can see this, that there is 1 line. No, there's no message. Okay, just a moment. Regex pattern we have already given. Maybe we'll have to restart again. I don't know why do we restart even after changing the pattern, but yeah, maybe it happens. Okay, I'll say cancel, register. Now I get the message regex pattern is required, so I'll give Fahim Khan and I'll say 0 0. Now we get 0 0 is not allowed, right? I get right, and if I give more than 20, so we get more than 20 is not allowed. मिनिमम एंड मैक्सिमम वैल्यू के हिसाब से ही हम चलते हैं. मिनिमम 0 रखा हमने और मैक्सिमम जितना ज़्यादा आप रख सकते हो आप रख सकते हो. Now, how do you validate email? If your question is how do you validate email, let me validate basically the username and password first, right? Okay, let me go ahead and validate the email and बाद में email करते हैं. First we validate the username and password. How do you validate it? Expand self closing tag बंद कर दो input type text का, separate closing tag लगा दो और separate closing tag और input tag यानी कि opening tag के बीच में आप ये डाल देंगे. Regex pattern is allowed A to Z, right? Small a to Z, capital A to Z for username, and minimum is 0, and this basically is this. Now if I go to password में हम special characters allow करते हैं, लेकिन इसमें भी हमारे पास एक चीज है जो देखनी पड़ती है हमें कि मिनिमम वैल्यू क्या ले रहे हैं हम. पासवर्ड में हम मिनिमम वैल्यू 10 लेंगे और मैक्सिमम वैल्यू जो हम है 30 या 40 लेंगे. ना 30 is also good, so let's say 40, right? So minimum value is 10 and maximum value is 40 of password, and this should be the same case with the confirm password, that we have to give minimum of 10 and maximum of 40, right? And now only email, because we have to look how do you validate email, right? That's the problem. Right, now it is required, and it is required. So I'll type username accepted. Now if I say Fahim underscore Khan does not match the regex pattern. Now if you have to accept underscore, how do you accept underscore using the regular expression? Right, so I'll type at the end, I'll type underscore, so underscore would be easily accepted, right? And you can say underscore is accepted. What if I type dot? Dot is not accepted. If you want to accept the dot, I'll go ahead and I type dot and I refresh, and now I can see, okay, no, dot is not accepted. I don't know why. Okay, I'll have to just change it in slashes. Still dot is not accepted, so let me go ahead and type dot like this. I don't know what is the pattern rule here. Okay, let me see this. Dot is not accepted. Right, I'll say dash if the dash is accepted first, and then we'll see dot. Dash is not accepted. Underscore is accepted. Dash is not accepted, but we have given dash as well. So let's see. No, dash is not accepted. Underscore is accepted. I can give slash, dash, slash, and see whether the slash takes the dash. Now regex pattern of A to Z and underscore. Only underscore, maybe it's cached. You can delete the cache by refreshing it, holding down the Alt key and Shift key. Still cached. Okay, so let me restart it again. I'll go to register. I'll say this, and username Fahim Khan is accepted. Fahim dash Khan is not accepted because dash is not taken here in the regular expression. So I'll have to see this. Underscore is accepted in regular expressions. Right, and what if I have only dash and no? Okay, this dash is taken as 2. Right, that's why we have to skip the spatial meaning of this dash, right? How do you skip? Right, by just typing this maybe, or yeah, we skip it like this and this. Still not taken, so I'll say skip the spatial meaning here. So there is a problem here. So let me see. We can say JSF regex. Alright, so let me see this. How do you deal with this? Minimum length and maximum length is already there. What if I do something like this? What if I take this underscore at the start? Underscore I'm accepting. So if I give Fahim underscore Khan, so this is absolutely accepted, right? So now because dash is not accepted maybe, right? So I'll have to say slash maybe, who knows? So I'll have to say slash, and I'll accept dash as well. So let's see. Okay, now this is accepted. Dash is accepted. Okay, yeah. You'll have to give it after the slash. After slash, dash is accepted. After slash, slash means skip the spatial meaning. So dot is also accepted, right? So now we are accepting dash and we are accepting dot. Now you can see Fahim dash Khan is accepted. Fahim dot KHAN is also accepted, right? Fahim and Khan is not accepted, right? So this is how we do with this. Now password is PASSWRD and we have PASSWRD, both are accepted. but the length is not allowed 10, so we'll keep it PASSWORD. So we'll keep it 6 minimum. What else? Yeah, minimum password आप 6 देंगे, maximum आप 40 लेंगे. So I'll refresh and now you can see this is accepted. So I'll say password and password. ठीक है. Now what if I go more than 3? So I'll say not accepted, not accepted. But if you want to accept numbers, you'll say, sir, I also want to accept numbers in the password. So everything is accepted. We are not using any regular expressions for password. All right. What if I want to accept numbers in username? Right. What if the username is not available at times? I want to use numbers. Now what you can do, you're accepting underscore small a to z, capital A to z, and you're also accepting 0 to 9. Now it's that is simple as anything. Now I'll say Fahim Khan 99, the username is accepted. Now you can clearly see Fahim Khan 99 is accepted. But if I say Fahim Khan 99 ampersand, and then it's not accepted, ampersand is not allowed. Right, and this is it how we do. So कोई problem? How's that? समझ आ रहा है? जाहिद कैसे छू जाना? कोई प्रॉब्लम?
नो सर, या तो स्क्रीन और कवर कुछ वीडियोस पर दिखाते हैं.
अच्छा जिगरा. All right, so now we have the most powerful validator, which is what do you call that as? We call that as email. So we are not validating email. If I say fahim.khn is going to be taken as an email, it is still taken, right? Because we have not validated email. So what is going to be the proper regex validation message for email or validation for email? So let me expand. I'll expand the input type text with a separate closing tag. Now my input text has a separate closing tag, and I will say F. I'll call the facet, which is basically giving the call. F means a call to the JSF core library, and H is a prefix to call the JSF HTML library. So I can say F dot validate regex. So we are validating regex here like we validated for other things as well. And we say pattern. Now the pattern is going to be different. Now let's see the pattern of email. Right. So what is the email pattern? email का pattern क्या होगा? तो इसमें 3 हिस्से आते हैं. ठीक है. Right. For example, we have name, right, and then we have @ right, and then we have name, website, and then we have dot, and then we have extension. Right, so this is name @ of website dot extension is how do you validate the email using regular expressions in JSF. And how do you validate it? So what is the name? Name can be Fahim, and then Fahim के बाद ज़रूरी है कि @ आए, तो @ आए. उसके बाद ज़रूरी है कि वेबसाइट का नाम आए. फॉर एग्जाम्पल आई विल से GOOGLE गूगल, और उसके बाद डॉट आए. डॉट के बाद कोई भी एक्सटेंशन आए. इन हो सकता है, कॉम हो सकता है, org हो सकता है. ठीक है. So this is how you validate the email pattern. Name @ of website. That means what you have to do, you have to create a regular expression. सबसे पहले आप क्या एक्सेप्ट करते हैं? A to Z, right, capital A to Z. नेम में आप क्या एक्सेप्ट करते हैं? 0 to 9. ये 3 चीजें मैं एक्सेप्ट कर रहा हूँ. उसके बाद क्या आ रहा है? @ के बाद क्या आप एक्सेप्ट कर रहे हैं? So I'll say small a to Z, capital A to Z, and 0 to 9. And also I will accept dash right here, and also I'll accept a dot right here. And then what is the next? Dot. What do you accept after dot? Com is there, net is there, org is there. So I'll say small a to Z. So this is how you basically validate your email with regular expression. Let's do it with our email, and let's see how regular expressions work when it comes to validating the email, which is of course our email, right? Okay, required true तो आ ही गया है, and your regular expressions, as I said, your regular expression will always start with a not, which is 6, and your regular expression will always end with dollar sign, right? So this is not is the start of expression plus dollar is the end of the expression. So this is how you end and start your expressions, right? तो पहली चीज क्या आएगी आपका नाम, उसके बाद आप क्या बोलते हो, इसके बाद प्लस @ जरूरी आना ही आना चाहिए क्योंकि ईमेल वैलिडेशन है. @ के बाद फिर से आप वैलिडेट कर रहे हैं आप क्या डिजिट्स क्या कैरेक्टर्स ले रहे हैं, ठीक है, राइट. उसके बाद आप बोलते हो प्लस आई स्किप द स्पेशल मीनिंग ऑफ दिस डॉट, उसके बाद डॉट आना चाहिए और डॉट के बाद क्या आना चाहिए बेटा, क्या है डॉट के बाद, कॉम है, ऑर्ग है या वट एवर यू मे फील लाइक इट इज. सो मैं पहली चीज जहां पर नाम आता है, इफ आई से नेम, दिस नेम, I will accept in name capital A to Z and I will accept small a to Z and I will accept 0 to 9, right, and I will accept underscore, I will accept let's say about Fahim underscore Khan, Fahim, let's say about dot Khan, right. So these are the things I may accept, right, and I'll have to write slash and then accept. So I will accept dot as well, right, and I will accept dash as well, right, as the first name, and that's it. Now go to ये पहला नाम आपका आ गया, इसकी वैलिडेशन होगी और उसके बाद चेक होगा @ है कि नहीं. अगर @ नहीं है तो एरर आ जाएगा. @ देना जरूरी है और @ के बाद आप क्या ले रहे हैं वो भी जरूरी है. I'll say @ of website, that is abc.com. I'll say small A to Z, capital A to Z and 0 to 9. So this is the website name I am going to accept, right? And after that, what do you accept? Maybe .org, .com and whatever you say, this is going to be, I'll say A to Z, capital A to Z and 0 to 9. This is what I'm going to accept as an email, a regular expression, right? And I will also validate my email for the boundary value analysis. What is the boundary of the email that you are setting? Yes, you can set the boundary as well if you want, right? Okay, now let's go to email and see whether it works. So I'll say continue. Error in regular expression. Again, clearly see Fahim.Khan से कुछ नहीं होगा या खाली Fahim लिखने से कुछ नहीं होगा. Fahim के बाद @ लिखने से भी कुछ नहीं होगा, राइट. ABC लिखने से भी कुछ नहीं होगा. लेकिन जब जैसे ही मैं लिखूंगा abc.com तो ये मेरी no, we still have an error. Fahim @abc.com, we have error in regular expression, so we'll have to clear that error in regular expression. Okay, now let me carry on and just delete these things so that we can know what is the error. The expression starts with a dot, that's absolutely fine. Then we have plus @ sign, that's absolutely fine. Then we have plus slash dot, that's absolutely fine. And then we have this address, so there's no problem in regular expression. Still we'll see this. We still have an error in the regular expression. So let me see what that error actually is. Okay, we have an expression that starts small A to Z, capital A to Z, and we have 0 to 9, and then we have plus, and then we have @ sign, and that's absolutely fine. Small A to Z, capital, okay, A to small A to Z is there, capital A to Z is there, and 0 to 9 is there. Fine, then plus, skip the spatial meaning, dot आना ही आना चाहिए. And after dot we have small A to Z, capital small A to Z, capital A to Z and 0 to 9, and then we have this dollar sign finishing the regular expression pattern, right? तो गलत कहाँ पर हो रहा है? I don't know. Let me restart it. I'll say register here, so regex pattern, okay, that's a problem, so I'll say error in fahim.khn@gmail.com. So we still have an error right here in regular expression. पता नहीं क्या error है? Error in regular expression, still an error in regular expression. So I'll say pattern. Maybe I'm not finishing the pattern right, so okay, let me write it once again. So the regular expression starts with the not and it ends with the plus dollar sign, and we have 3 sections, right? 1, 2 and 3 sections. एक सेक्शन के बीच में क्या आएगा? प्लस, यानी कि प्लस कॉन्कैटिनेटेड @ साइन आना चाहिए, और दूसरे सेक्शन के बाद प्लस कीप द स्पेशल मीनिंग ऑफ डॉट विच इज डॉट आना चाहिए, एंड देन वी हैव द थर्ड सेक्शन. ठीक है, तो ये तीनों चीज़ें ठीक है. यहाँ पर मैं कैपिटल A to Z यूज करता हूँ, स्मॉल a to Z एक्सेप्ट करता हूँ, 0 to 9 एक्सेप्ट करता हूँ. लेट्स हैव तीनों में यही, राइट? तीनों में मैं सेम चीज एक्सेप्ट कर रहा हूँ, small a to Z, capital A to Z, and 0 to 9. So if I refresh, yeah, now this is being accepted. Fine. So now let's see. If I write Fahim only, so regex pattern is not matched. So I'll say @, still it's not matched. If I say Gmail, it's still not matched, right? And if I say .com, it is immediately matched. And now what are the extra things that you should accept? So I'll say I'll accept underscore, and then I will accept dot, right, and then I will accept dash, right? So let's see these things. So if I say Fahim.khan, so it's not accepted in the first go. Why? Okay, well, I do just like I did later on. अंडरस्कोर में स्टार्ट में एक्सेप्ट करवाता हूँ, ठीक है. 0 to 9 के बाद मैं स्लैश के बाद जो मैं 0 to 9 एक्सेप्ट कर रहा हूँ, राइट, उसके बाद मैं स्लैश के बाद डैश एक्सेप्ट करता हूँ, और मैं डॉट भी एक्सेप्ट करता हूँ. सो लेट्स सी नाउ. Yeah, accepted. Fahim.khan@gmail.com is accepted. Even Fahim_Khan will be accepted. Fahim-Khan will be accepted. Fahim_Khan will not be accepted. So ampersand is not allowed. So I'll say Fahim.Khan@gmail.com. So here also we have to accept numbers, and we have to accept few different things right here. Right, and this is how basically it works. So now this is your email ID validation. आप गलत दे ही नहीं सकते. .com की जगह आप .in दे दीजिए, तब भी आपका सेम ईमेल चलेगा. ठीक है, gmail.org दे दीजिए, कुछ भी दे दीजिए, चलेगा ही चलेगा, राइट. लेकिन अगर आप डायरेक्ट बोलते हो @org, तो ये नहीं चलेगा, राइट. अगर आप बोलते हो gmail.com, ये आपका ईमेल आईडी नहीं चलेगा, क्योंकि रेजिक्स पैटर्न से मैच नहीं होता है. तो आपको करेक्ट देना पड़ेगा, fahim@gmail.com. So this is how you validate your data for regular expressions, so that you don't enter, or your invalid data is not entered to the database. You only take valid data to the database, right? So let me take a look at timings that we started from. Is still okay, 47 minutes. If you have to say anything regarding today's class of regular expressions, believe me, this is the beginning of you creating wonderful softwares, right, using JSF. इसके बाद हाँ, थोड़ी सी लाइफ डिफिकल्ट उन लोगों की होगी. मैं फिर से बोल रहा हूँ, आप अपने पैसे वेस्ट करें और मेरा टाइम भी वेस्ट कर रहे हैं. A student who has spent 2 years at NIT is telling me that I require 3 days to do a 1-hour job. That means, and those who have basically, spent time, or those who are spending time in passing examinations, right? So, अपने आप को कितना धोखा दोगे? बहुत हो चुका, बंद करो, प्रैक्टिस करो, ठीक है, राइट. So this is the dullest class. I repeat, I've not seen anything like that. Once I had 20 students in the class, 22 students, तौसीफ सर का बैच था आपका. 22 स्टूडेंट्स में एक भी ऐसा बच्चा नहीं था जो लेट आया. 22 स्टूडेंट्स में एक भी ऐसा बैच नहीं था, एक भी स्टूडेंट ऐसा नहीं था जो काम नहीं करे, राइट. सो कम आउट ऑफ योर लेथार्जिक अप्रोच, राइट. डोंट बी केयरलेस, राइट. कंप्लीट योर वर्क. इतना जमा हो जाएगा बाद में, काम ही इतना आपका जमा हो जाएगा कि आप कर ही नहीं पाएंगे, राइट. खास तौर पर मैं जिनके नाम लेता हूँ उन लोगों को मैं बता रहा हूँ, ठीक है. आफरीन है, अरबीना है, साइमा तो बात ही नहीं कर रही है, और इंशा एग्जाम दे रही है, ठीक है. एंड व्हेन इट कम्स टू योर प्लेसमेंट्स टुमारो, साइमा एंड इंशा, यू कैन आस्क योर कॉलेज टू गिव यू दैट, राइट, बिकॉज यू आर मोर कीन इन गिविंग कॉलेज एग्जामिनेशंस. और ऐसा नहीं पता है कि कॉलेज एग्जामिनेशंस में 1 साल जो आपको पढ़ना है, आप एग्जाम के 2 दिन पढ़ के कौन सा कमाल करते हो. Please submit your work, right, till evening. And now your work, which is login and register, should include regular expressions. वीडियो अभी देखिए, मैं 10 मिनट के अंदर अपलोड करता हूँ. अपने घर में टाइम वेस्ट मत कीजिए, ठीक है, राइट. और किसी को प्रॉब्लम है मुझे बताइएगा, आप मुझे मैसेज कर लीजिएगा, ठीक है, राइट आरिफ, आपका क्या प्रॉब्लम था? आपका जेएसएफ में कुछ प्रॉब्लम था ना परसों या कल? मैंने वो दिखाया था शायद, वो समझ नहीं आ रहा था आपको कुछ फेसेस कॉन्फ़िगरेशन। हाँ आरिफ, आपका कुछ फेसेस कॉन्फ़िगरेशन का प्रॉब्लम था। यू कैन टाइप इफ योर माइक इज नॉट वर्किंग और यू आर स्लीपिंग एज वेल। हेलो आरिफ, कोई जगह इसको। हाँ जाहिद, मैं तो मेनी आवाज छन तोही वहाँ ना छू तुझ सारी शेंगती तो। हाँ आरिफ, उजार किधर हो? आवाज आ रही है मेरी कि नहीं आ रही है?
हाँ आ रही है।
यम कद शेंगितिल
कितनी उधर नहीं है, उधर
सुगो तो ये मुझे काम तो ये दियोस जाहिद आरिफ क्या शेंगित शेंगित सुगा।
नहीं सर।
आरिफ आरिफ का कीबोर्ड भी बैठ गया। आरिफ तुमको क्या क्या बैठ जाएगा अभी? पहले तुम्हारी माइक बैठी थी, अब तुम्हारा कीबोर्ड बैठा है। तुम क्या जंग लिखोगे या क्या जंग करने निकले हो आप हथियारों के बगैर? ठीक है चलो, आई बी शेयरिंग द वीडियो, डू प्रैक्टिस एंड लेट मी नो इफ आई कैन हेल्प यू। बाय बाय, सी यू टुमारो एट 10:30। अल्लाह हाफिज़।